Welcome along to the show after a weekend of points gathering for the New Zealand franchises in Super Rugby, including 4 for the Highlanders, who hung on gamely for a win after seeing a 23-point lead eroded through second-half pressure from the Lions, but a win nevertheless. Elsewhere, the Chiefs found form just when the Blues lost theirs. The Hurricanes took some time to overwhelm the Rebels, but did in the end, and the Crusaders simply outmanoeuvred, outclassed and outscored the Reds. Poor road form for the South African teams continued in Canberra, and even at home the Cheetahs felt the full force and capitulated. The Bulls kept their perfect home record intact after the Stormers put them to the test. How much can we put down to the travel?
Oh, I think there is an element of that, no doubt about it. I think we had a few boys that looked pretty jaded, wore some injuries in that first half, which I think is the effect of a hard-fought tour and then jumping on the plane and not having a lot of time to prepare as well. So I'm sure that was an element of it, but fact is you're still got to be good enough to do the job in those situations, and we're a bit lucky, to be honest. They attacked around the fringes, through the middle if you like. They have been a side that had been playing a lot of wide football up until this game, and I thought we defended that pretty well in the first half, and they clearly decided we had as well, so changed the approach, and yeah, they caught us out, no doubt about it. They got really good momentum around there, and probably some of our tackles around that area weren't quite good enough. They got the gain line time and time again, and that's the game. When you get that, you're pretty hard to stop, and yeah, she was looking a bit ugly towards the end there, but scraped through.
Even when they scored that first try after half-time, I was sitting there thinking, well, this is one game I don't have to worry too much about, but suddenly the whole thing turned on a coin. Yeah,
I don't think that was ever the thought. Actually, they came out in the second half as we expect them to come out in the first half, to be totally honest. We played pretty well in the first half, but they didn't fire too many shots, and then they came out steaming in the second and put us under some real pressure, real South African style of play as well. Physicality and what they do well, and they got their tails up, and we've seen early in this competition against other sides that they can be a very, very dangerous team. So I expected it to come at some stage. We just didn't handle it too well there for a while and put ourselves under great pressure.
Let's be positive though, other seasons gone by we would have lost that game.
Yeah, well, we're just saying that. Yeah, you are disappointed with the performance, but hey, we got the 4 points. Would have been nice to get 5. Would have been very handy. Had our opportunities to do that as well, which was another disappointment. But as you say, yeah, we've at least had the win. Maybe even earlier in the season we would have battled to win that one. And we had a lot of changes on the track by the time we got to the later stages of the game. So that is a positive, yeah.
Crucial position, first 5 of course, and I thought Hayden Parker did very well, but particularly for someone who's had very little football.
Yeah, he hasn't had too many opportunities with Lima playing so well. And there's always a lot of pressure on when you get pulled back in. But he did some really good things, had some nice touches. Some of his kicking was outstanding again, the drop goal. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for anyone when you get into that stage in the second half, when you're under the pump and you're conceding metres and momentum. So we battled a wee bit set piece with our ball as well, just couldn't get onto it, and then when we did, maybe some decisions where we gave it back put us under further pressure. So all in all, I think he'll be happy with his that performance when he's come in and done a job for us really well.
You did lose some experience. Of course, your other open side flanker didn't last very long. You brought on Gareth and Tom Franklin had to come on too, so experience was light. Yeah,
it was, exactly. That's crucial, those situations too. But yeah, having said that, I mean, we got still plenty of guns on there, guys with plenty of experience at the highest level. So that's where they have to come forward and do the job, and we did it just enough.
A word for Richard Boatman, end of last year, end of NPC, didn't have a job. It's taken every chance, isn't he? The question mark about whether he's a good attacking winger, but he answered that today. Yeah,
I mean, Bucky's been outstanding. His consistency and he's a fighter and a worker, aggressive sort of a footballer, and you see that as you're suggesting in defence on a regular basis. But yeah, you never rule him out on attack as well, and as you say, he showed some glimpses of that tonight too.
That New Zealand conference so congested, a sight slip up, you're either first or fourth.
Yeah, and that could have cost us tonight, to be quite honest. So as you say, I mean, that's why we're relieved in a lot of ways, because it keeps you there or thereabouts with some really big matches coming.
The first 40 didn't go so well for us. In the change room, coach just asked us, just play for each other, and he just wants effort the second half, and so we came out the second half, played with lots of effort, and it worked out for us. Just bad luck losing with 1 point.
Much more forward intense in that second half and less spreading it around.
Yes, we said to each other we're going to keep the ball and keep it tight. Forwards work for each other, and if the backs want the ball, we'll give it to him, but otherwise it stays in with us.
And to get a try straight away, a big boost to the confidence?
Yes, for sure. That's a perfect way to start your second half. Coming out, score some points, keep the heads up and just try on.
How far through that second half did you start to feel you might actually win this?
When we scored the second try and the confidence was high, all the Oaks just said to each other, come on boys, just one or two more and we're there. And from there on we played for each other and it really worked out for us. There's not a lot of big names in our squad and we tend to play for each other and that's working for us at the moment.
Do you think you're starting to recapture some of that early season form that impressed so many people?
Yeah, we set high standards for ourselves. And we were disappointed last week in our poor performance, and we said we had to pick our standards up. And I think the second half showed some of the standards we showed at the beginning of the season.
Do you think that style of play that we saw in that second 40 is now going to be perhaps your platform?
Yes, we will certainly go and have a look and maybe play more of that rugby. It's nice to keep the ball in hand, to play with the ball. It's always nice to attack and not defend all the time.
Must be fun playing in that loose forward trio, though. You're a good unit.
Yes, for sure. We love it to play with each other. We get lots of ball, and the structure really suits us. So we just play for each other and we're loving it.
If you want to get those wins on tour, are they the difference between progressing or not in this competition?
Yes, for sure. I think getting a win or two on tour will do a world of good for our team. And we'll certainly work for it in Australia.
Must have been buzzing at half-time though. Flew all the way back from South Africa and 23-0 up at the break.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but we knew if we just stuck to our systems, played to the game plan, that eventually would get the reward. And as it worked out, we sort of got it in the first half and got nothing in the second half.
How much football have you had this year in any level? Have you had a few games behind the scenes?
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of runs for Tyree. A couple of 80-minute runs there, so it hasn't been too bad. I'm training with the team every day, and so you kind of feel like you're still sort of amongst it, but it's nothing like a game. But yeah,
nice to get that all the kicks in, the conversion, penalty, drop goal, get the confidence up.
Yeah, I need to score a try and get everything. But very pleasing to get a few kicks over and get away with the win.
You got stuck into your defensive work well too, a couple of key tackles.
Yeah, just trying to cling on to them. Just do my best, I suppose.
Any sense of panic today, do you reckon, in the second half, because when the wheels are coming off?
Not so much. I think we were all pretty calm. We all knew what we had to do. It just, at certain times, we just didn't quite nail it. But that's things to look at for next week and work on, and yeah, we'll look at that.
And you're probably starting next week. Liam's out for a while, so you're going to get a bit of rugby now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far away he is, but yeah, I'll just turn up and
keep him out of the team.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
It's a pretty young team, isn't it? When you look across the paddock today, it's not a lot of the years behind you.
No, it was sort of a bit of a difference from last year. We had a lot of experienced guys in there, and yeah, young, enthusiastic guys in there this year, and yeah, it seems to be going well.
Points over the next few weeks essential, and they be going into that break.
Yeah, that's the real focus over the next 2 or 3 weeks to get a couple of wins and hopefully try and keep right in the hunt for the top 6. And we're just the team that just needs to keep looking at the next job and working away. So yeah, we'll just look forward to the Hurricanes and yeah, hopefully get a win.
The Sharks' comfortable position atop the South African Conference must surely be affecting their drive to win, with no pressure from below. However, their now tenuous place at the head of the overall table is genuinely under threat for the first time in months, and that may spur them on to better things. The Chiefs remain in the top 3, but will be helpless to protect that spot should the Crusaders win their catch-up game convincingly next weekend. And on current form, you'd have to think that a possibility. The Hurricanes keep the Highlanders out of the top 6 on points differential, but barring a draw next week, the flag points available in that game between them will split them clearly, one way or the other. Prospects for the Blues are bleak, though 2 home games going into the break provides a semblance of hope to stay in touch, which is more than can be said for all those below them.